I have been tasked with making a delicious gourmet lunch for my family. I also bought 3 saws, all the same model, and I'd like to get one working. I think we got a beautiful workbench to use. I've got a simple, delicious, classic recipe. Shouldn't be too difficult. Bread, cheese, butter, meat, ketchup. Let's get this lunch started. But first, very important, get every corner. Nobody wants a dry piece of bread. This recipe has been in my family for generations. Very important not to use margarine. It's just like troweling cement if you're Italian or half Portuguese like me. Although my dad wasn't a mason. He took up a different trade in life. Carefully lay the bread in the pan. Cheese. This is the wrong cheese to bread ratio. So we'll fix that. Just like so. 1 slice of ham and the other piece of bread. Very carefully. Very important to wear a shirt. Grease splatter is no joke. So it's been about 2 minutes aside on medium heat. So nobody likes doing dishes, and I don't want to grab a knife just to cut this in half. So we will use the spatula. And you don't want to just cut it that way. Do the diagonal, and it looks a little bit fancier and almost like you gave it a little bit of effort. Move our sandwich over here. We will go garnish the plate next. Pickles are a great side for a grilled cheese. Do not place the pickles directly on the plate. Nobody wants pickle juice mixed with their bread. I don't know about your family, but my family loves ketchup, especially my daughter. She likes ketchup on her ketchup. So probably that would probably be good for her. Lunch is served. Depending on how many are in your family, just keep making them with the same process. 1, 2, 3, 4, until everybody stops complaining. We have 3 MS 192 chainsaws. The manufacturing dates are 2006, 2007, 2007. They're a 30cc limbing saw, top handle arborist saw. They are now called a MS 194. So I bought all 3 of these in as-is condition for $100. I would like to get one of them running. Which one to choose? That is the question. Probably not this one here. Looks like we need too many parts. This one looks complete. We have the clutch cover, working brake, but that could be a starter problem. This one here, complete, but I can see the muffler is missing and it has some scoring. So let's get a closer look. And let's go through all 3 of these saws and find out which one will be the runner. So the first thing we need to check is if any of these are scored. And no muffler on this one. And the piston doesn't look too great. This one's got some pretty good scoring going on. So this will just be for parts. Not many parts left on this coil, some screws, gas cap. Park that one over here for now. This one here. We have a muffler. That's a good thing. Oh, that's that one there. But our engine does turn over, and it does feel like it has compression. That's a good sign. And we'll just pull that muffler off. I know that light is hard for you to see due to the glare, but to me, it looks pretty good other than a decent amount of carbon buildup. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Rings are free. There's a better shot for you. Rings are free, no scoring on that piston, but a lot of buildup of carbon. But so far, that's a good sign. And our third saw is also scored. We've got some, yeah, we've got some pretty good damage in there. Yeah, no good. Looks like we've got one good recoil. Maybe we'll steal that right now. So I think that recoil there is broken. Oh, there's our primer bulb. So we're going to need one of those. And it looks like we're not going to get our primer bulb from that one or this one. Okay, our recoil's good. We don't have a flywheel. Wonder why. And we've got some interesting bolts holding this coil on. Some wire repairs. Okay then. This could get interesting. We only got one flywheel right here. We got some things going on. Well, let's just this carburetor off. Oh, I see that's already loosened up. This carburetor out. So take our choke off first. Fuel line is already disconnected. Thank you. I believe the carburetor pulls straight out. Yeah. And then we just disconnect our throttle rod. I think I'm going to just pressure vac test this case because this is the one that's not scored out, scored up, but we're missing a flywheel. So before I get too far into this, I better just make sure we're holding pressure and vacuum. So our intake, there's our impulse line right beside it. This tool is going to seal both of those off. You could use the carburetor and put a piece of rubber against this. You could just cut a piece of inner tube, stick it behind the carburetor like so, and tighten the carburetor down. But I have this, so I'm going to use that today. Intake and impulse line are sealed. Now I just have to seal this muffler exhaust side up. So we're going to have to use our muffler for this one. And we'll just keep our piece of rubber there. And then install the muffler screws. Make sure that's in there nicely. And I'll just tighten that down. Pretty simple to get one of these sealed up. And it's a very important step before continuing any other work. This might be game over. This could be a short video. Make sure our spark plug is actually tight. And there's why you don't use these spark plugs with the threaded tops, is this thing was loose and fallen off, and I'm wondering if that's why this saw got parked. It was inside of here. Got our pressure vac tester. I'm pretty sure there should be one linked in the description, a cheap Amazon knockoff, which they work great. This is the one from Still. It's kind of expensive. It's not needed. You just need a pressure vacuum pump. And we'll test vacuum first. And we have a massive, massive leak. Uh-oh. Well, that made for a short video. We've got a leaking crank seal because this whole crank bearing's moving. Yeah, no play in this one here. Nice and tight. This one, I don't know if you can see that, but no good. And it's not the engine loose in the housing. Well, that is just too bad. See if our piston stop will work. Yeah, that worked. Reverse thread and the piston stop. Could use rope. Oiler driver. Got our oil pump off, 1T27. All right, we'll take our lower engine bolts out. One, two, three, four. Ring, ring. Stuff our intake boot through. Take this anti-vibe out. I'm not really sure what I'm doing here. Can't remember the last one of these I worked on. I like giving myself a challenge. Stick the intake boot through and then pull. Hopefully. There's still something holding on here. Impulse line. I'm going to get the engine out. Disconnect the coil wires. Impulse line runs up in behind. And the intake boot pushed through, but it's just clamped on with a plastic clamp. And then I just got to pry it off the cylinder. Not very scientific there, but we got that out. Our engine should pull right out, in theory. That impulse line is hard as a rock, and it actually broke. All right, there's our engine. I'm going to undo these 4 crankcase screws. Clean the dirt out first. And they are loose. Well, that one was loose. What's going on here? So there's our problem right here. It's not the case, it's the bearing itself. But I imagine the heat. See, this one here's nice and tight. Yes, this should be cleaned up first. Oh, so these two were, oh, look at the crack. Look at the big crack right here in the crankcase. Okay. I don't know if we are going to have a working saw. I think I have 3-part saws here. Yeah, that crank seal's blown right out. See, it's kind of missing some pieces there. Another problem we have is how the coil is held on. This is our only good cylinder, and we've got a problem here. Look at that. The coil was loose for too long. And that is our good piston and cylinder. These are definitely 3-part saws. Maybe I could make one at a later date. It's not going to happen in here. I am going to bag some of this hardware up, and then we will open up one of these carburetors and just take a peek inside for the fun of it. Actually, let's take a look. Here's our good cylinder. Nothing wrong with that. Just needs a good cleanup. Oh, this is, never mind. Yeah. Good cylinder, but we've got wrong hardware, and I already showed you this. That mount is maybe usable, but we'll see about that. Give me a couple minutes. I'm going to clean this up. I'll be right back. Oh, that was loose. Pump's got some memory. Micro screen is clean. There's definitely been lots of activity on these carburetor screws, mixture screws. Someone's been at those before. The high was set to lean, but there was a lot of carbon buildup also, right? In the exhaust port, so that high was turned in. That diaphragm is incredibly stiff. Wow. Otherwise, clean. Metering lever, a little on the low side, but just a hair low. I'll bag that up too. I think it's strike 3 for this round of saws. Strike 1, strike 2, 3. I can't remember which one's which, but these are ex-tree service saws. I knew the risk when I bought them. $100 for all 3. You don't know what you're getting until you get them home. If the purchase is a lot of money, pull the muffler and look at the cylinder first. If the seller doesn't like that, walk away. It's like even this one, it pulled over, and for 30 cc, it seems fine compression-wise, but it scored. That's the one we had tore apart. I just kind of threw the recoil and stuff back together on it. No engine in there. Well, I think I'm just going to pack these up, and I'm going to leave it at that. We are not going to have a running saw on this episode. So that's it for the MS 192s off of Facebook Marketplace. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
What's going on in here?
Just cooking those grilled cheeses up.
What's the smell?
That's a burning grilled cheese.